Healthy eating for college students. So I've gotten a lot of comment requests asking me to make a specific video dedicated to eating healthy for college students, because obviously things may not be as easy when you're a college student. Depending on where you live, you may not even have access to a kitchen. But college is also a moment where we can be really tempted by all these fad diets and like trying different diet trends, because it's just convenient. Like, oh, I'm just gonna eat random junk food and then just go on a fad diet. But that is absolutely not the way to go. So instead, I'm gonna give you tips on how you can eat healthy and balanced as much as you can, as much as possible when you're a college student. Invest in appliances. It's always embarrassing when my neighbors have their windows open and can totally stare at me filming. If you're in a college dorm room with like nothing, there are still a few appliances that you can get that will help you with your healthy eating. You can get like a mini fridge, you can get a microwave, you can get like a little blender. These are things that don't take up too much room and that can really save you because you can make so many meals with these things. Also make sure that you have a good knife and like a cutting board, and make sure that you have some sort of pantry room, like just pantry space, storage, where you can put just a few canned foods, jarred foods, a few like non-perishable items. You don't need to have a huge kitchen with like all the top-notch appliances to eat healthy. You can eat very simple things, make them with very little means, and still have a healthy, balanced diet. So in many colleges, you're going to have a place to eat, like a dining hall, a cafeteria, whatever. And that may not be the place where you have like the best, healthiest meal options, but you can still definitely make the most of it. You have to give yourself a goal of eating at least like one fruit and one vegetable, like one portion of vegetables during each meal. Like you can go about how you want. If you don't have any veggies that you like, eat like 2 pieces of fruit. If there aren't any fruit that you like, two veggies. I don't know, take a starter, sneak in some like baby carrots. I think that's a good goal to have because it's realistic. Like I'm not going to be telling you always go at the salad bar and make a salad every single time, because that's just not going to be what you're going to want to do in most cases. So that's okay. But if you're just able to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to have whatever meal I like, even if it's not the most balanced meal ever, but I'm at least going to commit to having one vegetable with it, one fruit with it, something like that. I would say eating more fiber in general, so a lot of it in the form of fruit and vegetables, is going to be one pretty easy thing that you can do to really make your diet much healthier without it being too much of a hassle. If your dining hall cafeteria also gives you menus, it's a really good idea to look at them. That way you can pre-plan, like, okay, I'm going to have like that vegetable, that fruit, or eat that and do that. And that can be very helpful, and also maybe a good idea to get there pretty early so you're able to have the food that you actually like and that's maybe healthiest. Planning ahead is very important when you're a college student for both your studies and also food. And as I was talking about previously, I was saying it's a good idea to look at your menu for your like dining hall or cafeteria so that you can plan ahead. That's also a really good idea to do that so that you can balance out your meals kind of throughout the week. So let's say that you look at the menu and you see that there's like pizza on like Wednesday. And so you're like, okay, I know that I'm going to be having pizza for dinner. So then you can be like, okay, what can I have for lunch to kind of balance that out? Maybe not more pizza, or maybe not like a sandwich with meat, you know? That's the moment where you can be like, oh, maybe I can go to the salad bar, or maybe I can sneak in like a fruit or something, or maybe I can have a smoothie, make myself a smoothie for breakfast to get in some nutrients, stuff like that. And it's really helpful if you're able to plan things out and you're able to kind of schedule in these moments where you're gonna have college food that isn't the best food for your health, which is fine. But if you're able to kind of plan that out and then incorporate foods that are a little bit more nutritious, then that is a great way to balance. If you don't dine at like a cafeteria or something, then planning ahead is still very important. Scheduling your meals, trying to have some sort of a meal plan, something simple where you know approximately what you're gonna eat and like around what time you're gonna eat, how much you want to be making, so that you make sure that you have the right ingredients and that you make sure that you have the right amount of time to cook the meal, and just figure all of that out, because when you're coming home from a long day of studying, you're not going to want to spend 3 hours figuring out what to eat, and then grocery shopping, and then cooking, and then actually eating. You want things to be much quicker and much more convenient. And again, this doesn't have to be super elaborate, but it can be helpful to know, okay, like Monday is going to be like my sandwich day, and like Tuesday is going to be my pasta salad day, and then Wednesday is going to be like my beans and rice day. Keep things simple. So there's no need to try and become a chef when you are a college student. You can do healthy, balanced meals with like really simple things, and you need to get pretty simple ingredients. Make sure that you're getting like jarred and canned foods, that you're getting pantry items that are like can last pretty long. You can get like frozen fruit and veggies, things like that. Even if you eat them, if you don't have a freezer, you can eat them just a couple of days later, and that's fine. I'm gonna give you some meal ideas that you can make if you have like a mini fridge and a mini blender and like a little microwave in your kitchen, and that's it. So you can make some eggs and veggies. You can make that in the microwave. You can make an oatmeal bowl with a bunch of ingredients in it, and oats and milk. You can make a mixed ingredient bowl with like microwavable rice or quinoa and put a bunch of veggies in that. You can make mug cakes. You can make mixed salads, again with a bunch of ingredients that you just mix together. You can make soups and smoothies in your blender. You can also make wraps with a bunch of fresh or canned ingredients that don't require cooking. You can also microwave a potato to make a baked potato and put fillings and toppings in it. And then if you do have access to a kitchen, it's still good to keep things simple, because you're probably going to be really busy. You're probably not going to have the time to make super elaborate meals every single night. So what you can do is like cook in bulk, kind of do batch cooking. It doesn't mean that you have to meal prep everything, but just make sure that you get enough done so that you don't have to like be in the kitchen all the time. Again, when people think about cooking, meal prepping, batch cooking, they think of like elaborate recipes, but you don't have to. You can literally batch cook pasta or rice or like quinoa, and then a type of vegetable, and then like a type of protein, and that's it. And just keep that in your fridge. Have healthy snack options. So it's likely that your campus is gonna be filled with a bunch of like super tempting, super rich, delicious snacks, and that's good. Like it's good to enjoy them once in a while. That's totally fine, but they shouldn't be your norm. It shouldn't be like, oh, every single day, multiple times a day, I'm gonna get like these snacks. But if you're always starving and you're never planning for your meals and never have like snacks on you, obviously it's gonna be very tempting to go for that. So in order to counteract that, of course you need to be eating healthy meals that we talked about. Also, it's a good idea if you have some healthy snack options on hand or like in your room, easily accessible, easily available things that you can eat and that you can sometimes like grab on the go, that are going to be better for you and that are going to be a way to kind of recharge, give you a little bit more energy, and also sneak in certain nutrients that maybe you didn't get from the cafeteria. So I'm gonna give you some of my favorite like staple snacks that you can kind of mix and match. Ideally get like a mix of fiber and protein in there. So things that you can have are fruit, obviously, dried fruits as well, nuts, trail mix, and you can like make your own trail mix. You can get bars like Cliff bars or Kind bars or things like that, crackers, string cheese, hummus, baby carrots, cherry tomatoes, or any type of like easy to eat veggie, popcorn, a smoothie if you're able to make it in advance. You can even get some like roasted chickpeas or edamame as well. If you eat a snack like that when you're hungry, then you're much less likely to eat all of the other treats, all of the other snacks, and having like some chocolate or having a homemade cookie or muffin or whatever, that's still much better than getting something that you get from a machine, like a candy bar from a machine, having like 5 of them in order to satiate yourself. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. And I feel like this is very important, because just because you know that it's going to be hard to eat as healthy and balanced as you can when you're in college doesn't mean that you have to make like no effort to even try. That's like a common human thing sometimes when something is like inconvenient to do, or like, oh, it's gonna not really be useful because I'm gonna make like all this effort for a tiny amount of positive, like a small positive outcome. That's not the case. It's very important that you tell yourself that even if you can only eat healthy a handful of times during the week, or even if you can only decide what you eat in certain meals, certain times, or if you only have like control over your snacks or your breakfast or something, that's still better than nothing. So don't let your fear of things not being perfect get in the way. So maybe the best that you're doing now is not the best that you have like in your head, where you can make your own meals from scratch and get all the fresh fruit and veggies and all like the good cooking ingredients. But that's okay, because it's the best that you're able to do in your current living situation, and that's already really good. So focus on the little improvements that you can make, the little places where you do have control over your food choices, and trust me, over time they really add up. And last but not least, make sure that you enjoy your meal experience and your college experience as well. You don't want to become too obsessed with healthy eating. Yes, it's important, and yes, like I said, it can definitely be a contributing factor to your success and your happiness, but it's not something that should consume you. You should be focusing on all of the other great aspects of college as well. Ideally, you should be incorporating these little tips when you can, but not hyper focusing on the moments where you can't and where you don't have control over your food, or where you're having parties and you're not eating healthy and balanced meals. That's okay. That's part of life. It's part of your college experience. It's part of your experience as a human on earth, and you're not always going to be able to eat exactly what you like when you like. If you're doing the best you can to incorporate some gentle nutrition into your college experience, then you shouldn't feel guilty for the moments where you can't, or the moments where you simply don't want to. Restriction is also a big issue for a lot of college students, so I don't want that to happen either. You should be enjoying experiences that college has to offer. And again, it's really easier to enjoy the food opportunities in a like balanced, moderate way if the rest of the time you are eating foods that sustain you and satisfy your cravings, like satisfy your physical and emotional hunger, all of these things. That's it for this video. I really hope that you found a few of these tips helpful. Don't forget to like it if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, and see you on my next one. Bye.